Yes, your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another double spending episode. Today I've got a double spin of a live stream I was on with Mike from Rethinking the Dollar, a native Detroiter. We had an excellent conversation about crypto, the end of the monetary system, and about Detroit as well, man. We had an awesome time, a couple of call-ins as well. So I want you guys to check this out. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the description below. Excellent channels, great content over there at RTD. It's your boy Crypto Blood. I'm out of here. Ha!
All right, RTD Live Talk. We are live. I apologize for the hang up. And so as always, on my end, somebody else's end today, this is my second blunder on my part where just technology, man, when you got so much stuff working behind the scenes, it don't work out the way you planned for it. But we're here. Let's make our time worth it. So excited to have a fellow Detroit native join us tonight. I had the privilege and honor of joining him on his program a couple weeks back, I think, or so, and it was a great time. So I figured I would return the favor and definitely get him on because he's a wealth of knowledge, and definitely I think somebody who can help shine some light on the merger and the importance of being open to understanding cryptography and all the things that come with that. So Mr. Crypto Blood, welcome to RTD Live Talk.
What up, though?
How you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. That's a Detroit thing, by the way, people. But I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure talking with you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, I don't think I've introduced him to What Up, Doe, but now I'm going to have to now. So, but we're here, man. So I appreciate you. So, as always,
Absolutely.
For those that are watching, welcome to RT Live Talk, what I like to consider on my side, Detroit's #1 late night YouTube talk show. And so today, this is my second interview. The first one got a perspective from someone that's not in favor of the blockchain / cryptography sector. And then tonight I have Mr. Crypto Blood, who's a educator, he's a researcher, he does a lot of great things in the sector. And so one of the people that I wanted to get on and get his perspective. So with that being the case, Crypto Blood, give us a little bit of your background. How'd you get the name Crypto Blood? And what's your avenue into this space?
So the name was, I'm not a blood, I'm not a Crip, so don't be scared, people. It just came out of, it's kind of a double entendre, like crypto, blood. So I came up with the name back in 2014. I just set on the name. I wasn't doing anything with it. But I got into cryptos in late 2012, early 13. Man, I was reading a Zero Hedge article late one night. And saw the technology, saw an article on it, and I went out that night, man, and bought my first 5 Bitcoin. And the rest has been history. I bought it, just wanted to make sure it was a legitimate transaction, and then went back and the next day and bought another 5. So that was my introduction to Bitcoin. But the reason why I even thought that the idea was unique and was a game changer back then, when no one ever even heard of it for the most part, people thought it was internet magical money, all types of stuff, was because of my background being a trader and also a programmer. So I have, I'm into finance. I've been trading, FX for over 10 years now. And so just seeing those two things come together, my introduction
came into this whole education space, wanting to inform people about the importance of just understanding the historical aspects of money. And so gold and silver has been the primary focus here. And along with that, I've definitely encouraged people to be open to new opportunities, because clearly it looks like we're going to be steered in that direction. So you might as well be receptive towards it. Give me your thoughts on where are we heading right now? Where are we being led into anyway?
So I still think it's important to have precious metals. I was a precious metal guy as well up until I found Bitcoin, because I felt like that was basically precious metals 2.0. It was precious metals in a digital age. And so I think the concept, though, behind precious metals resonates with Bitcoin as well. It's a limited supply. Bitcoin being even more limited because we know there's only 21 million coins. And, the Bitcoin is deflationary. So it's a hedge against all of these fiat currencies that we have floating around by these central banks printing on a daily basis. We know what's going on with the repo markets. here in the States with the Federal Reserve. Not QE is what we're calling it. But that is problematic, man. And it's going to be expressed in asset classes like digital currencies, like the stock market, like real estate, like the bond market. The prices are going up, not because, we have a healthy economy, but because the Fed and all central banks around the world are printing money like it's never been printed before, man. Like it's going out of style. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we're headed. And I think, as you can see, I'm sure you've seen many headlines, Mike. The central banks around the world, they see that this crypto thing is not going anywhere. So, if you can't beat it, what do? You join it. Right. So they're creating their own crypto currencies. Yeah. So they're getting into the space, but that doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin is not controlled by any central entity. So it will still be expressed even against those new cryptocurrencies that these central banks create. So it's a good position to be in. I think you should have physical precious metals, but I think, me personally, not giving financial advice, I would be even more overweighted with cryptocurrencies simply because the price appreciation of it will be, and that we've already seen that, like returns on crypto. I'll never see the type of returns in precious metals that I do in Bitcoin. Since I got in. I bought Bitcoin at $79. Yeah. So
now watch this. So one good thing that I'm curious about, because amongst a lot of other commentators that are out encouraging people and educating people on the space, and it's the whole cryptocurrency adoption push, and so they're telling people to spend them. And so that's one thing I must admit I'm a victim of. Because I never really told my story, but I've bought and sold Bitcoin earlier on just because I was wanting to actually use them. And it's one of the things where I regret having done that, because I actually spent a couple whole Bitcoins, and what I received in return is still a value to me. But if I would have only really continued to hold on and, done something at a later time frame, I'd be much happier.
That's a key misconception in this crypto game, and you'll see a lot of people that call themselves crypto experts. Yeah, they miss the point that Bitcoin is not money in the sense of you can use it as money, but it should not be money. It shouldn't be in a person's portfolio. You probably don't want to spend your Bitcoin because it's deflationary. So, meaning over time, that time value thing, it's gonna be worth more in the future, most likely against all of these fiat currencies. Yeah. So you don't want to spend Bitcoin. You want to hedge it and stack it just like you would gold. Yeah. Why would anyone spend gold at the grocery store? It's the same concept. You don't want to spend Bitcoin at the grocery store. You don't want to spend any of these at the grocery store.
But that goes. That I understand it completely. That's why I never tell people to do that, because I'm thinking like that is not what you want to do. Like, so all the other products and services out there that I've come across or have approached me about spending gold and swiping your card to spend gold, I'm like, no, you don't spend that. Like, Gretchen's law, you spend what's going to be plentiful, and national currencies are going to be plentiful. And so that goes against the narrative of the mass adoption or not, because you want people to go out and buy. But a lot of people don't know the importance of holding on to it, so they'll probably end up spending it. And then you have other altcoins and whatnot. So how do you increase adoption if people aren't able to actually spend them and use them in actual day-to-day transactions?
There's a space for that. There's a place for coins that are inflationary, and there are many out there in the crypto game that are inflationary. So you want to go look for coins that are inflationary. One being the primary one, and I've been saying this on my channel since the stable coin market really took off. Tether's been there pretty much since I've been in crypto, and probably before, I think, maybe around the same time. But Tether is one, but the proliferation of stable coins came about, I would say, late 2017 going into really 2018, you started to see multiple stable coins hit the market. That's what you want to spend. If mass adoption looks like, and I know people don't want to hear this, but I keep it real on my channel. Mass adoption of cryptocurrencies is the everyday person using a stable coin at Starbucks, at McDonald's, or at the mall or whatever. They will use stable coins for purchases.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like. And your Bitcoin, possibly Litecoin, just because it's the second, it's the first altcoin, second coin, first altcoin. People are going to stash those coins, and maybe you liquidate a little bit here and there when you need it, just like you would gold. But primarily, people will most likely use stable coins on a day-to-day basis, Mike.
Now with stable coins, they're labeled stable, but they're denominated in the Federal Reserve note primarily, and then they're issued by institutions that are not operating in the best interest of the people. So it's that, like, okay, why are they getting in? Because they clearly see profit. So it's not going to be a win-win for the consumer itself. So will stable coins become the primary issuance of, you think, of like the too big to fail banks and possibly even national governments, and to where they're going to say eventually you can't use your decentralized coins, you have to use stable coins, or it's going to be against the law type of thing?
Well, I mean, we got to kind of segment or separate stable coins into two categories. One being like publicly or private. When I say private, I mean private sector issued coins, stable coins, like your Gemini dollar. You've got USDC, which is I think what is that? Not Coinbase. I forgot the other. Circle issues USDC. You got a number of Paxos. You got a number of stable coins that are issued from the private sector, but then you'll have your central bank issued private stable coins as well. So, it's kind of going, I don't know what direction we're going to go. I would say, because most people are sheeple, they're going to adopt the central bank issued coins and use those. But that still doesn't take away from Bitcoin. It's still going to make Bitcoin go up over time. I don't care what we see in these up and down violent swings we see. That's what a free market actually looks like. People say they want free markets. This is what a free market looks like. This is the closest free market we've seen in hundreds of years.
And so definitely, and that's why, I'm not one, and I'll be upfront honest, I'm not one to go out and say, everybody go ahead and make sure you get in. And I'm not one to say everybody should be in metals. I'm in the middle. I'm like, know what you're going to do on either side. Make sure you're willing to, because there's going to be losses on either side. But so make sure you're able to understand exactly what you're doing, knowing that I believe we're being steered towards a digital solely, but yet you got to always have your weight in your back pocket just to hold you down, And so
I agree. You brought up some good points. I remember when I had you on my channel, I think it was right after you made that one video about Bitcoin being a booby trap. And you brought up some very good points. That's why I wanted to have you on, because those are valid questions and concerns one should have. And you should have both. You should have precious metals. You should have cryptos. I just think you can be actually underweight cryptos, because the cryptos are going to outperform any other asset class. So you can have 2-3% of your portfolio in crypto, because it's going to do 1,000x, 2,000x over the next 30 years. Not even that long. I would say 10 years, a decade.
I would say 5.
You know what I'm saying? 5 to 10 years, you're going to see exponential growth in these cryptocurrencies. So it doesn't take a lot to just hedge. It's just a hedge play, in my opinion.
Now, and so as always, for those that are just tuning in, we have Crypto Blood, a fellow Detroit native / YouTuber, content creator, researcher. So I definitely want to have him on to share his thoughts. And so I want to go to the chat a little bit. And so I see a question.
Let's do that.
So Justin March, I want to acknowledge your presence for that love offering there. I appreciate that, my friend. And so low blood pressure. One of the primary contributors from Corpus Christi, Texas. He'll make sure to let you know that. His question is, how does your private key get validated without compromise? Question, doesn't there have to be a database in order to track your private wallet?
I'm not too sure if I understand his question about private keys being validated. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, so I
Asking,
can speak on behalf of low blood pressure. He's not a crypto enthusiast, so that question could kind of be worded to.
sure. No, that's cool. That's cool.
But okay, just say I'll decode this if I can. Low blood pressure. Let me know if I'm wrong, or actually call in and break it down for us a different way. But
Yeah, call in low blood pressure.
so the private key aspect is what you need in order to get claims to your funds on the blockchain. How does that work in regards to, can you use different wallets to do that? Or say if your wallet goes out. So give us the rundown on that.
So in cryptocurrencies, you have two keys. You have a public key, which is the address that you all, like that's your wallet address that people typically think of, right? That's your public key. Then you have your private key. Right, your private key you never give out. That should stay private and secure. It's through SHA-256 and that algorithm that gives it that ability to say, without one knowing the other, match those two up to say, okay, you have access to this ledger on the blockchain. So the funds, and that's another misconception many people have. They think that even if you have the Bitcoin in your hardware wallet or something like that, you don't the coins aren't actually on that wallet. It's just it's in the ledger that everyone shares around the world, and it's that slot that says your public key slot here, and then you have your private key that is allowed to access the funds in there and move them out. If that makes sense. So it's very secure. It's been going for 10 plus years now. No one's been able to hack it. Will someone be able to hack it in the future? Of course, there's always a possibility for anything. There's nothing 100%, but the probability of that is so low that that's what creates the value of these cryptocurrencies, because people aren't able to hack them.
Yeah. Now, let me just throw a question at you. And this is one of my confessions of a Bitcoin skeptic, questions that I always come back to because it's of concern to me, because anything that has an origin or a creator itself, that creator had something intended in their mind. And if, of course, it's their product that they spun out to us. So Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever that is, whether they're still alive or whatever, I don't know if it was a protocol that was completed a decade ago or was sitting on a database 30 years ago waiting to be rolled out at this particular time. Who knows? I don't know. Is that something as an investor, as an enthusiast, that you actually are conscious of, considering the fact that whoever that person is that created that, they also probably have the smarts and the know-how on how to somehow, some way alter if need be, even though whatever. I don't know. They created it because it's their baby. Can they alter it or do something to it?
No, and the reason is because it's open source, Mike. So the source code for Bitcoin, the QT, it's there. The source code is there for everyone to see, every line of code that is in this protocol. So no, we would have found nefarious backdoor code already if that was the case. So no, the code is open for everyone to see, for everyone to copy. That's how we have Litecoin, because Charlie Lee took the source code from Bitcoin, made a couple of modifications, changed the consensus algorithm from SHA-256 to script, and he created Litecoin. So it's open source, man. So that's why I don't care if Buzz Lightyear made Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. It's open source. Everyone can see it. Anyone can modify it in their own version of it and do whatever they want. Now the power is in consensus. Everyone is agreeing upon this particular version of Bitcoin source code that we all agree upon. So nope, I'm not concerned at all.
Good stuff. Now another question is, I'm hearing more and more people talk about the mining hash rate and the power consumption that's the primary backbone of Bitcoin happens to be in China. What's up with that? Like, is majority of the network held together by servers or miners or whatnot in China?
Yes, and that's a somewhat concern for me as well. But that's not a deal breaker, simply because, let's say China decides to do, because there are, I think, 3 entities They control 51% of the hash power of Bitcoin that are supposedly in China. So if they collude together, they could potentially begin to double spend. Double spending mean send coins to, multiple addresses at the same time, creating inflation basically out of that coin, creating more coins than there is. So that's a possibility. However, because it's a blockchain, because it's all there for everyone to see, the network would see this and we would take action and either fork or do something else to mitigate that risk. So it's not like if a double spend happens, we're doomed. No, we would just pivot and break off and start a new fork.
Yeah. Now, because so much power, it seems like it's consolidated in that country. Here on the West, we're always picking a fight and trade war, and so I heard recently that the most recent spike in the cryptocurrency came from President Xi, basically being a little bit favorable towards it. Now, do you think perhaps, and this is also monetary type of questions here, but do you think President Xi could literally say, okay, let's boost up the Bitcoin and altcoin sector to destroy the dollar or confidence in the dollar and use their mining power as a weapon against the current reserve currency of the world?
Good question. I don't know that that's like playing 4 and 5D chess at that point. There's so many moves on that one that I can see happen. What I will say is that the move up that we saw in Bitcoin, about 3,000 points from trough to peak, after that news came out, was really irrational exuberance. It had nothing to do with anything fundamentally that changed in favor of Bitcoin. When President Xi said that, he was talking about blockchain. He said nothing about Bitcoin. Yeah. So I think the markets got ahead of themselves and they kind of, just FOMO'd the price up. And so we're seeing the market take all those gains back, it looks like, at this point. Yeah. So no, I think that was just a move up by the markets, being free markets, being whales that did it, or whoever. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't look into that too deeply. I think China will and they are developing their own cryptocurrency. What that looks like, I don't know. I mean, I would think it would be something that was inflationary, because that's what they love to do. They love to have control over monetary systems that they can increase supply when they want to or decrease supply when they want to. Again, that harkens back to the fact that Bitcoin is superior and will be across all those categories. Now,
so when it comes to the whole national currency, cryptocurrencies being introduced, so we got Tunisia, we got Russia coming out of the coin, we got the Euro coin being talked about, and so what I've kind of deduced it down is to the fact that those nations talking about cryptocurrency, they're using the lingo, they're using the hype right now on the sector. But all they're doing is basically that they're going to remove the paper out of their circulation and only give people the option to use what's already digital currency in their circulation.
Exactly. It makes no sense at all. Like, and that's how like they don't fully. Maybe they do understand, but they don't see the power shifting. From the central banks to the people. Really. You know what I'm saying? So. It makes no sense. Like, them making a digital or crypto version of the US dollar is absolutely retarded, man. It doesn't make sense. We already have most of the supply of our money is digital. So it's already digital.
Now watch this. What's going to be unique is that once paper is removed, or they're going to pass some policy that will discourage people from using paper. There go their last little bit of privacy, property type of thing in a natural sense. But even with the digital currencies that they're going to roll out or rebranding it.
That's all it is.
The question is, will the central bank still hold it, or will some government society get involved? Because right now,
I mentioned that yesterday, man.
So that's going to be the real test. Because as of now, commercial banks through fractional reserve lending bring all those digits into existence. So will they remove the fractional reserve rights from commercial banks.
That's so funny you said that, because I said yesterday, I said, is this a perfect time for I'm just using us as an example, the US, the government to it's like a convenient way of shifting back power to them. Like, okay, well, we'll create our own coin, a government coin, and just issue it ourselves and X out the Federal Reserve.
Yeah. So
you know what I'm saying?
We'll see. But I'm of the mindset between now.
I don't think they will though, but
I don't think they will either, especially with the reserve status, because once the Federal Reserve note itself is removed or debased or inflated away or whatever, and they go solely digital, there goes the dominance of a reserve currency on our angle. Because once again, Russia, China, they already got their infrastructure set up for whatever they're going to introduce. And then I kind of think it's going to be a basket initially of things they're going to try to put out there for confidence sake. But then again, dwindle it down and remove some things from the basket of value, and then limit people solely to digital like they've done all along. And so, it's just, I think in the next 10 years, we're going to have something of that nature for sure.
I don't see why not, why the IMF wouldn't create a digital crypto version of the SDR. That's what I think is coming.
But that's only for governments, though. And once again, if you got governments doing their own cryptocurrencies, then how do you assess value to one digit, another digit?
IMF, Well, the IMF will have a basket, I think.
So they can use the basket.
So they'll do a basket. It'll have either if it's going to be the government
digital coins,
some precious metals, in there. Some precious metals, some commodities maybe mixed in there. I can see that happening.
Yeah,
and that would be good. I mean, that's good. I'm cool with that. That would be good. But just straight digital fiat, and that's all it is a fiat cryptocurrency.
Yeah, that's it.
That's all it is.
It's just a rebranding of our current monetary system. That's it, man.
Yeah, it's like when Prince changed his name to the symbol. I mean, just same person.
Oh man, good point. Now, okay, so I'm curious. I'm gonna throw out, and so we got another question from low blood pressure. So you're gonna try to throw another one at you.
Come on, low blood pressure.
He said he tried to call in, but the phone didn't go off. So give us a call. But it says, if crypto is deflationary, why did the price go from 19K down to 3K?
That's free markets. Free markets, bro. That's what free markets look like. I told you, we're so used to not seeing free markets. We think when we see free markets, we think it's manipulated. No, it's the other way around. When it's a free market, you'll have wild swings, you'll have whales, you'll have collusion, you have all that stuff. But that's a free market. And as more participants come into the market, you will start to get better price discovery with the asset. Yeah. So it's still young. That's why you have these wild swings. That's why it's not stable. But as more participants get into the market, you will get better price discovery. Yeah.
Now, question for you. So I think it was a week or two ago. And so, Bitcoin Ben, he's coming on tomorrow night. So just as a heads up, Bitcoin Ben be on tomorrow night. And he made a video 2 weeks ago when he just went crazy, cussed out everybody. And it was about him, us being informed that it was a certain group of officials or whatnot that was in charge of the price drop back in our last rally. And so do you think that there is market manipulation at this current point since that's that 19K down to 3, that more people have gotten in to actually control and manipulate the price for their own benefit, or what?
Too hard to tell because the market is so fragmented and segmented. Yeah. This market is not like other markets. Because if you take a look at maybe like stocks, right? There's only one exchange that a stock can trade on. Yeah. Right. So it's one way in, one way out. You kind of see more of the flows, even though there are dark pools. I'm just saying in general, you can see what's going on with this. There are so many different exchanges around the world. It's too hard to say. Is there manipulation? Absolutely. Manipulation in the fact or from the perspective of whales. Yeah. If I have $10 billion worth of Bitcoin and I want to unload it, I'm going to manipulate the market to unload it at the best price that I can. Yeah. So manipulation doesn't necessarily mean collusion. It could just mean one whale moving the price around. if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Now, I'm curious to get your thoughts on so since the introduction of Bitcoin 11 years ago, or how many ever years ago officially, 2011. So that's 8, 9, 10, whatever. Say 10 years ago, 2009. What was official? I mean, I'm not offhand. Was it 2009?
Yeah.
Okay. And so it was like, people were selling
Halloween
pizzas
or
for $1,000 or something like that. Thousand coins for a pizza, whatever it was. Whoever did that was, yeah. Anyway, but so since then, there's been so many different projects that have been spun off, and it's been so many forks and rebranding and recoding and whatnot. And so there's all types of projects. There's more projects that I think any one individual can keep a track of. Give us some of what you think might be some promising projects that will probably stick. And so a lot of them won't stick, but what are some disruptive technologies you think that will stick off the top of your head? Anything come to mind?
Well, Bitcoin being the bellwether, it's going to be the main one, but it has its own function in blockchain. Like blockchain encompasses all of it, right? And then when you break that down, you have cryptocurrencies, and then you have crypto assets. Crypto assets is actually going to be a bigger industry than the cryptocurrencies, because what's happening is, man, Bitcoin and all the cryptocurrencies, there are only going to be a few that really have a competitive edge over one another in the altcoin space. I mean, a lot of them, their narrative is still, and it's funny because even the actual coin, the teams behind some of these coins still don't get the point that none of their coins will be used on a daily basis by the masses. If you take a percentage of the pie, maybe 2-3% will ever use those coins as money. The rest will speculate, have a speculative position, and hodl those coins. So, some people say, some coins and projects say, well, we're faster than Bitcoin, and we can do it faster. So that means that we have double the amount of coins. So we're, it's better for spending. That doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, if there's a limited supply of something, inherently over time, the market is going to place future value on that coin. You get what I'm saying? It's not something you're going to just spend on a daily basis. So a lot of the coins, cryptocurrencies, I think are going to go away, or if they don't go away, it's going to be very low volume. But the crypto assets is what I'm most excited about. Smart contract platforms like EOS. Even I have my criticisms about Ethereum because they're trying to upgrade from proof of work to proof of stake. But if they can do that, then Ethereum. You've got Hedra hash graph, which is a different version of. It's not even a blockchain. It's a hash graph. It's a different implementation of that whole setup. There are a few, man, and I think that is going to be the area where you see a lot of growth. So people need to do their research and find out which smart contract blockchains will be there in the future. You just got to look. You follow the money, man. You follow the money. See what teams have the most capital behind them, biggest war chest to do branding, and actually, you need to look at projects that have money to lure developers over, because when you get good developers on your blockchain, you make good products. In turn, the end user will be attracted to. Right? End users don't care about blockchain. They just want it to work better than the systems that we have today, i.e. Facebook and stuff like that.
Now, give me some as far as social media is under attack right now. YouTube's about to change some things, which is going to impact those that have a somewhat of a contrary message to the mainstream narrative. And so what are some projects that you're aware of? And so I try to stay up to date. So we got BitChute, we got Minds. So they all tout themselves. We got Steam. So they all tout themselves as using either the privacy feature or the blockchain itself, or in some capacity, to store stuff, to make it decentralized. What are some good projects you think that could possibly help other people, or might eventually, give YouTube a run for its money?
I don't see any yet. I don't see any yet. Just being honest with you, BitChute, all of those projects are cool. I've used BitChute for a while. I don't know if you have. I've used Steam. I use Steam. Steam is still.
Yeah.
I post on there, but I'm sure you see, it's very flawed. The issue here, man, and what I've been realizing over the past 7 years being in this blockchain game is that initially, most of us thought that decentralization was the second coming of Christ. It was what we all were missing. It was the solution to everything. But what I've realized over the years, man, is that decentralization is not. And I told someone in a comment today, I said decentralization is not a binary event, meaning you're decentralized or you're not. You're decentralized or you're centralized.
Yeah.
No, it's a gradient scale. So there's a gradient scale between centralization and decentralization, and both ends is not the right solution. It's not. You can't be fully decentralized, because if you are, then you're going to have people putting all types of offensive things on these networks, pedophilia, porn, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
If they can put it up there,
you can't touch
and
it.
No one can police them.
Yeah.
It's a wild west. And so it to me it lowers the content value in a scenario like that if it's fully decentralized. So I think it has to be a solution where it's kind of right in the middle. I know Block One, which is created EOS or EOS.io, the decentralized operating system. They're working on voice.com. You can go check that out when you have a chance. They're not rolled out yet. I still have some concerns with that project because it looks like they're going to require everyone to do KYC.
Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like, what's
the point?
I understand, because that basically what they're doing is one for one. So one account for one person.
Yeah.
Will there be some loopholes? Of course, but it will, for the most part, mitigate any double accounts, triple accounts, or whatnot. I understand, and so that's what I mean, man. It's just like we're just learning as we go. It's just, it can't be fully decentralized. It can't be fully centralized.
Yeah, I don't think that initial claim of just making it so that there's only one account is where it's going to stop. Because I think, as far as like, with the whole KYC aspect, as far as the whole protocol, whatever, I checked into it, but I'm thinking like, once I saw that you have to sign up, register, and give all your information, bare minimum, but yet they know who you are. Right. And so it's like, once they know who you are, then that right there, it puts them in a favorable position, so that if they're ever in trouble or whatever, they can always say, okay, we're just a server.
Right.
They are the ones that put that go get them.
Yep, exactly.
And so that's an issue where I'm like,
that is an issue with me too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, how do you, I don't think we've come up with a solution yet that's doable, where it's kind of in the middle, where it's some self-policing going on, some self-governance. We're just not there yet. I don't know if we'll ever get there. Maybe that's a pipe dream. I don't know. But at this point, nope.
All right. So once again, like there's a lot of enthusiastic XRP fans out there, and so in this chat right now, and so I've shared my thoughts on it for quite some time now, and so it's one of them things where I'll let you share yours, but. I just labeled it. It's a banker coins for the banks that's set up to get you geeked, but it ain't for you. So that's my typical stance. So you can take advantage of it, of course, but you're supporting the very same thing you're running from. But what's your 2 cents on Ripple and XRP, and as an entity as well as the coin itself?
My 2 satoshis on that is the same as yours. It's nonsense. It's a banker's coin. They're actually pimping the people who hold those tokens, because they don't realize that the holders of XRP don't realize that XRP is liquidating those coins on a monthly basis. And guess what they're doing? They're going out buying real assets. They're buying companies. They're buying, this company. They're doing an acquisition with this company. They're doing a transfer of wealth from the token holders to themselves, and they're they're investors, because they have a lot of VCs behind it. I remember when Ripple, back when I was doing my tech startup, I was in New York, and there was a like this flyer. We were at some VC office, and it had like Ripple in the middle, and it had all these VCs around it, basically showing who was invested in them. So it's at the end of the day, Ripple is going to need an exit. They're going to have to come to a profitability marker for their investors. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to acquire companies, and I'm not saying Ripple won't succeed. They absolutely will, I think. But will the end user, the token holder, benefit? Not one bit. Yeah. Not one bit.
Yeah. So Tony Blaylock says, Mike, talk about Hex, and so I'm assuming Hex. Give me a HEX. So is that that's not Hashgraph? Is it? What is Hex? Do you know offhand what that is?
I think I've heard of Hex. I don't mess with Hex at all. I've heard of it, no, but I haven't.
I mean, I don't mess with it. I'm curious as to what it is myself. Okay, I typed in Hex and Hex Cash came up, so I'm not familiar with it myself. So let me see.
And another people, people always query me. Hey, CB, what do you think about this coin? What do you think about that coin? What do you think about it? It doesn't matter how great the technology is. That's not what's going to dictate success with any technology. If you go look at, like you take the what do you call it? The DVD versus what was the
Blu-ray.
beta?
Beta and Blu-ray.
Beta, yeah, whatever. Right. The other one was actually better, but I forgot why DVD or whatever ended up winning. So it doesn't necessarily mean the technology, the superior technology, is the one that wins. It's more so about who's behind it, what kind of marketing dollars they have behind it, and who hits critical mass first. Yeah. And so most of these coins, they are better. They're better than Bitcoin. They're better than Litecoin. They're better than all of these, top 10 coins, many of them. But that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Now, I'm curious to get your thoughts on two issues that needs to be addressed, which I believe starting at 2020 is going to really become something that people will want to talk about even more so, and it's privacy. Because as I did a video about the Bitcoin skeptic with chain analysis and other companies out there that are being funded and supported by governments around the globe, as well as all types of exchanges are kind of forced to use their services, that limits your ability to move unless you have to go out of your way to make sure you decide to want to shuffle or whatnot. So what are your thoughts on privacy? Will privacy become something people demand and want when it comes to the crypto sector, or will people say, I don't have nothing to hide, I don't mind people knowing what I have, or what?
Oh man, I want so bad to be an optimistic person, but I'm a realist, man, and privacy is so important, and that's the whole point of cryptocurrencies. That was the initial point of it, that it was anonymous. And then it went from anonymous to kind of more pseudonymous. And now with chain analysis, it's pretty much just wide open. They know who you are if you don't know what exactly to do and mixing your coins and all that stuff. And even that is, you still stand a chance of being tracked somewhat. But yeah, privacy coins are very important. However, the masses won't appreciate them. They won't appreciate them because, and I talked about this in my video today regarding Litecoin, they're implementing Mimblewimble, which is a privacy protocol. And I like it actually, because Mimblewimble is used by a token called Grin and a token called Beam. Those two tokens are privacy tokens that use Mimblewimble. Very good privacy coins. But, people were kind of attacking Charlie Lee for looking kind of entertaining the idea of, implementing Mimblewimble because they were concerned about exchanges delisting them. Yeah. See, and that's what the issue is with this industry already. It's already to the point where people are so focused on making money. They're going to do the exact same thing that happened in the last system. They're going to compromise privacy. Privacy does not mean you're doing something nefarious or illegal. No, I want to be private, and I should have the right to do that. So I think though governments will kind of push those privacy coins to the side. A lot of them have been delisted from major exchanges, and I think that will continue to happen. And you'll be looked at like as a criminal if you have privacy coins, so on and so forth. So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so I agree. So it's one of the things where, like right now, there's so much gray area because the governments are deliberately stand out on the sideline because they know. I believe the United States government knows that they need to at least keep this doorway open so the public has a way of getting out as everything around them crumbles. And so I believe they're kind of supporting the adoption aspect in a sense because they have plans to steer us in one direction so that everyone doesn't lose completely everything. Like if the computers, all the banks shut up, whatever, people will lose everything. But as of now, there's a small chance that a good part of the population might have a couple Satoshis stacked aside that would appreciate significantly the way to give the perceived idea that it was a transfer completely as opposed to a complete loss if you were trapped in an old system. So I kind of believe that's kind of where we're at now.
Absolutely. This is the only asset, Mike, that is an escape from the traditional system. All of this money printing since 2008, 9, and really it started even before then. I put the marker at 1971.
It started 1913 when the dollar became
private. When the Federal Reserve was created. All of that. But if you want to even go a little bit further, when Nixon took us off the gold standard, I think really set the marker for the countdown for the demise of the dollar. But I think since then, man, these asset classes have been so distorted. To the point now, it's just everything goes up with each other. Like, how do you have a stock market that goes up with the bond market? Was not always the case. There was a negative correlation with those two asset classes. If equities went up, primarily you knew that bond market would go lower, i.e., the yields would go higher. Right? That's no longer the case. Everything is lockstep together. Going up and going down, and Bitcoin right now there is no negative correlation against the equities, but there is no correlation. It's near zero. So it may sometime go up with the stock market. It may go down with the stock market sometime as well. But that's the key. This is the only asset class at this point now that has almost zero correlation with other asset classes, and that includes gold. Gold is somewhat correlated negatively or positively to what's going on in the equity market.
Yeah. Now, so as we draw towards the end of our chat, I'm curious to get your thoughts on how everything will wind down, because there will be a rally again that will surpass the last rally, and then there's going to be more people looking to exit out in the form of getting their Lambos or whatever else might be hot, give or take if we're still in a somewhat stable economy. People are going to want to be taking advantage of those gains. And so taxation, there's more and more, I guess, information being given on how they're going to tax it and all the problems with, even just converting them over and spending them. Apparently now spending them, you have to, you'll be held accountable for that. So if you touch your cryptos in any form or fashion, you have to keep record of it. Like, will this get worse, or will they one day decide to lessen up and allow people to spend? Or you can spend only if it's a stable coin. What's your thoughts on what's happening in the future?
No, it's going to get worse. Their tax policies and laws are so draconian, so outdated when it comes to cryptocurrency. That's another reason why you don't spend again. They recognize it as an asset, meaning like a home or something like that. So you go to buy your coffee with your little Bitcoin, you're basically selling your home in exchange for some coffee, and you have to report that. So it doesn't make sense to utilize it in that way. I think it's going to get worse. Stable coins, I don't know. I think I saw an article that kind of states that they're going to be looking at possibly trying to lock down on stable coins because it's a terroristic is a threat, and terrorists can use it to money. The narrative they run by. Man.
Oh man.
So I don't know. I think as far as the next rally, yeah, there'll be one for sure. How far it goes up, I don't know, but I tell you this: I've seen one halving in Bitcoin, two, and this every halving, even with like Litecoin and stuff, every halving you're going to start to see it priced in prior to the halving. Mm-hmm. Because at the halving in May of 2020, we're going to have the miners produce half as many coins as they did prior to that halving. Mm-hmm. So that's a supply shock. So you're gonna start to see this being priced in. I would say in the next 2 to 3 months, you'll start to see a steady rise in Bitcoin wherever it is from that point all the way up to the halving.
Yeah, good stuff. And so as we get ready to draw back this evening, it's been great, man, hanging out with you. So as we were talking before, so you had an event in the summertime with Max Keiser. So I was very fortunate to have a chance to connect with Max Keiser through your event. So I appreciate you for putting that on, because I wouldn't have got a chance to do so. But it was a great event, man. That was my first time actually getting out in the city, or getting out, period, and engaging in the community, in the crypto sector, as well as some talk on metals and whatnot was there as well. And so we've been talking about looking forward to doing something of that nature again on the collaboration side in the future. So perhaps in 2020, for all the people that's in Detroit, we might have opportunity to put something together where we can get metal enthusiasts, crypto enthusiasts, any enthusiasts of any kind that provides solutions for people to navigate the next decade or the coming storm. We're going to try to put something together. So I'm looking forward to it, because I think it'll be fun,
absolutely.
My friend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think that's going to be great. And even if you're not in Metro Detroit area, you're in Cleveland or Chicago, you guys should definitely come out, because we're actually on the same team.
Yeah.
We're looking at, precious metals, Bitcoin, and a few others are sound money. Is sound money, and you need a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And I had a great time having Max come out, man. He wants to come back.
Yeah.
He had a great time. He and Stacy had a great time. So we're going to have them back as well next year. And man, definitely do that. We're going to do that in the new year for sure.
All right. Before I let you go, we do have a call. So it looks
nice.
like it rung a little bit. It didn't ring, but this one went through. So we're going to try to get this question or thought in. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind tonight?
Mike, Tim, Colorado.
Tim from Colorado. How you doing, Tim, my friend? What's on your mind tonight?
Good. You got crypto blood on there.
Yes, sir. You got a question for him or a thought for him?
Yeah, well, I want to start by complimenting you all. You're talking about the most important stuff in the world.
I would say it's up there. Yeah, definitely it's up there.
And so if we had to argue between metal, right, heavy, precious metal, and cryptocurrency, what would crypto blood say?
Well, he's here, so he heard that question, and so if we had to argue between the two, what do we argue? If you had if you had $100 in your pocket, which one would you go get first? Type of question.
You already know what I
get. So because Tim, he loves to throw curveballs out there. So that was an attempt for a curveball.
Your followers be trying to set people up, man.
No, it's just because it's crypto related. That's why they're having fun with it.
I personally would buy crypto.
You guys are talking about the most serious stuff in the world.
Yeah.
That's occurring right now.
Yeah.
And everything else is just a symptom.
Yeah.
And so.
Good point.
This crypto is kicking ass. You guys are kicking ass. You keep it up, okay?
Appreciate it, Tim. I'm gonna let him answer that question. I readjust it for him. So
Okay, great.
All right, be good, man.
Okay, you too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to pick, I would pick cryptos, but if I could, I would split it up.
Yeah.
Split it up. I wouldn't buy, I would buy a little, maybe $20 worth of precious metals and $80 worth of crypto.
Now, to go even further, can I put you on the spot and say, okay, with that 100, what would you get specifically? Do you feel comfortable sharing that or no? If you don't, you don't. But you know what I'm saying? Is there anything out there for sure you got to get? So you'll get you one round for 20, and then $80 on what? Some Satoshis?
Man, come on, my man from Colorado. That's $100. You know, $100 ain't worth nothing nowadays. Just by the time when you got off the phone, it was worth less. Just that quickly. Man, yeah, I can't really buy too much with that.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Just buy some Bitcoin and just forget about it. You know, that's my thing. Just buy as a protection, as a protection hedge against these Federal Reserve gangsters out here. They're the real.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man, well, hey man, Crypto Blood, has been great to have you on the show. Definitely looking forward to doing it again and doing it at a better, at a different level, live streaming somewhere, hopefully in the city of Detroit. So we didn't get a chance to talk about Detroit in the way that I wanted to, but we've had to save it for another day. And any last thoughts you want to leave us with? Can you point people back to your direction, your social media, so they can find out?
Yeah, man. So my site, cryptoblood.io. I didn't even really get a chance to tell people I'm an algorithm developer by trade nowadays. For the most part, I develop algorithms for cryptocurrencies and also FX. Those aren't going to be ready for another 2 months or so. You'll be able to have alerts for FX pair, so you'll be able to know when to buy and sell. But you can right now purchase my BitMEX algorithm. It's an automated trading bot. All the information is there on the site as far as its performance. It's all transparent, up 110% since November of 2018. So check me out, cryptoblood.io. You can check me out on Twitter at cryptoblood_, and on YouTube at cryptoblood. Sounds
good, man. So once again, it's been great hanging out, and I've enjoyed the back and forth, man. And so with that being the case, so low blood pressure, I've been screening calls. No, low blood pressure, literally, I missed your call, so you know I never do that to you, my man. So literally, like, calls, it would show I miss a lot, and some didn't come through, some did.
Tell them to call in real quick, man.
So yeah, low blood pressure, call in real quick, and if I see it go off, I definitely gonna answer it. And I should have your number saved in here, but I don't. But give me a call real quick.
You gotta say it on the high blood pressure.
So with that being the case, I'll wait for a second.
Let's talk about Detroit, man. Let's talk about Detroit.
Sounds good. So yeah, as I mentioned to you before we got on, is that somebody forwarded me a video about somebody driving through what looks like, I don't know the area. I want to. It was. I want to say it was like over near Tuxedo and like Linwood area, somewhere in that side. So it was bad. So he actually went to go find that.
Asked someone to take me to the worst area in the city.
Exactly. So it was on some like, man, like and apart from the video I did in the area I grew up in, man, my goal is not to push down my city, but just say that, I think there's still life in the city. There's opportunity there for those that know and can do something with it. But I didn't take that so well. My man just, not from Detroit, came through, filmed the worst of the worst, and then got a lot of views off of it. So people thinking like, man, Detroit, I'm not going to Detroit because it's really that bad. Give people a real scoop on the portions of Detroit, what's hot, what's not, where should you go, where not should you go. Get laid out for us.
Man, listen, I spent the first 13, 14 years of my life in the city. I've seen violence, of course, but it's not. I think we're definitely painted in a bad light, man, and it's very sad. And it's been like that really since, the 90s. Yeah, I would go out of town to family reunions and stuff like that. And people will say, "Where are you from?" And then you say Detroit, and they kind of shift their clothes and put their hands in their pockets. It's like, come on, man. I'm not talking about I'm from Iraq or something, but it's a bad narrative that I think it just snowballs and it's kind of recursive and it just gets bigger and bigger with that narrative. But things are shifting. I think we still have a lot of issues, primarily because of job opportunities. That was the biggest hit for us. And when you have lack of jobs, that's when you're going to have crime rates go up. That's when you're going to have, all types of stuff follows that if a person can't feed themselves. So, I think downtown is really, it's like Max and Stacy were absolutely blown back.
Yeah.
They thought they were coming to like I said, they were even like, man, I didn't know it was like, because I had them stay down at the Shinola Hotel. And we did a Detroit Bruce tour. I took them on that, called up Detroit Bruce, had them do a tour. And so they really liked it and they were shocked, man. And, it's a lot of growth. It's a lot of growth opportunities. And people should definitely come check out downtown area, Midtown, Corktown, even by Belle Isle over there. West Village areas is really booming. So a lot of good areas inside the city that, is nice.
All right, so we have a caller. I think let's see what it says. Hello, caller. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's low blood pressure. I finally got through.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
Mike.
Low blood pressure. What's on your mind, my man? Give Mr. Blood, Crypto Blood, a question or two.
Okay. I got two things. Let me start with the first one. From what he said earlier, it sounds like he's got a computer science degree. It sounds like he knows a lot about computers. So I'm not gonna pretend like I don't know, But I just I need something explained to me.
Go ahead.
All right. He probably, I can't hear him. Okay. When you do say you put Bitcoins into your wallet, right? You got private wallet, and then you got your public wallet. He explained it like the two of them merge together, but somewhere in the programming there has to be a validation for your private wallet in order for the program to tell you, okay, this private wallet or with the public, I don't know exactly how it works, but there has to be something in there that tells it, hey, this is valid, these passwords are valid, these passwords, X amount of Bitcoin is in there, and even if it recognizes it and gives you another code to the program to disguise it, there's got to be some kind of mechanism to that understands your password, meaning it has to be able to be hacked somehow. How is it hackable?
All right, low blood pressure. He's gonna answer you offline because you won't be able to hear him because I got the earpiece in. So he'll answer your question off the phone.
Okay, you kind of understand what I'm trying to tell you, Mike?
I got you a little bit, but it's I got you. So he gonna break it down for you. Appreciate the question, my man. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Have a good night. Thanks, Mike.
Be good.
Take care.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so low blood pressure, it's basically, as I stated, it's a SHA-256 function. It's a function that's using cryptographic research. They've been using it for many years. I will have to say it was created, I think, by the NSA, SHA-256, but it's used by all companies online, any SSL certificates, all your transactions online, credit cards and stuff like that. They encrypt with SHA-256. And many are using SHA-512 now, but it's a hash function. So when you put the input of your public wallet or your private wallet input through this, let's say like black box, and it's going to push out a hash, and that hash, if it matches, then it will let you take those coins out or move those coins around from your wallet. So that's kind of a lay way of explaining it. I hope I explained that correctly. So it's a hash function that we're dealing with SHA-256.
Yeah, and so Spirit King, another viewer who's called him before on some, he's a technical computer guy. He was saying that something about not SHA-256 that's hashing. He says private public keys are encryption, not hashing. So he's just shining a little light on that according to his knowledge as well. So. But yet, once again, when it comes to technical stuff, you got something to say?
No, I was going to say, but it's a hash function is what I was trying to explain to low blood pressure about those mechanisms.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's well above my head, and so we're going to keep it rolling. And so, Crypto Blood, man, it's been great having you on, and definitely looking forward to doing it again, and definitely hopefully getting it to do it in the city of Detroit on some meetup type stuff. So for everybody that stay tuned, 2020, we got to get out and help more people get their weight up, get their Satoshis up, take action of some kind, do something to prepare for what's going on. So that's been the case.
QE is going on, people. Not QE is going on.
Yeah, and by that time, it might be official QE plus some on top of that.
QE 10. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, everybody, it's been great hanging out as always. If you enjoyed the back and forth, don't be afraid to donate a thumbs up to the channel. Definitely go over to Crypto Blood YouTube and check him out and subscribe to his channel as well. Show the fellow Detroiters some love. And other than that, Be blessed, be safe. Mr. Crypto Blood, stay on for a second. And then other than that, everybody else, be blessed, be safe. And I'm going to leave you with this message right here.
Holla.